Oh, what's good? What's going on? All right. Okay. The cool thing about live streams is that they're formal, but they're not formal like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't ignore that you just saw, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about what the slides say. We're going to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will be making myself a bigger, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what I look like before we go any further. You know what I mean? Oh, one more thing. This light be making my skin look good. That's that. Sun kissed. LED kissed. Basically, what had happened was, y'all, I didn't invite nobody to the I didn't let nobody know I was doing this live stream. But it's okay. Cause I'm gonna watch it anyways when I'm done. You see me? But on a serious note, welcome everyone that is coming and that will also be seeing the recorded version of this and any future viewers. This is the workshop, a Saturday workshop on May 28th regarding how to study a poet. It's going to be a little interesting. The reason why I'm doing this particular workshop is because I feel like, one, every poet almost kind of has not a duty, but I guess you could say way like a better word, a duty to add something to the community of poetry. That's what I'm trying to do. And also, I'm really into poetry, so I like thinking about these kind of things anyway. So it's not about nothing. So in regards to why I'm doing this particular workshop is because I see a lot of poets and I'm really inspired. And sometimes I feel like as poets or even creators, we're like, wow, how do I learn from him? Or like we're really inspired. We're like, we be trying to learn from somebody's style or how they cadence or how they rap or how they do their performances. And it's like almost like sometimes you could fall in the category of, no, I don't want to learn from anybody because I want to find out who I am first. Or it'd be like, I'm going to learn from as much people as I can. And you find out that you now have imposter syndrome and you're like afraid that, are you copying somebody else's style? And even if you do want to learn from somebody with a balanced mindset, it's like, how do you even approach that? Because it's like, you're really taking in a whole and performance as a whole. So how could you possibly break it down and make it digestible? You know what I'm saying? So before we continue, I like listening to music when I watch it back. And also, in case anyone is coming, I like to give them some extra time, you know. Like I said before, niggas gonna be late. Niggas is gonna be late. You know what I mean? So I'm going, you know what I'm saying, put a little smooth jazz on. You know what I'm saying? And today they should not be lag. I'm pretty sure I got that fixed. But if there is lag, I'm gonna go ahead and call support. I ain't doing all that. I'm gonna just figure out another way. It ain't even that deep. It's not. It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
It's fun to make predictions, baby.
I say I lost it all, but I never dropped the ball. Thicker than I still 10 toes, just had my back for when I fall. Shoot him down, see got balls. No way I'll make you fall. Go like, hey, don't take it, no. See the jakes, I scared I'm gone. I lost it all, but I never dropped the ball. Thicker than I still 10 toes, just had my back for when I fall. Shoot him down, see got balls. No way I'll make you fall. Go like, hey, don't take it, no. See the jakes, I scared I'm gone. I fuck your bitch first night, I'm lit, I feel this pill kicking. You cut off tax and pay fast, that's why she deal with you. Too bad you broke, I heard you couldn't even feed your kids, nigga. Pop fake ass pills like you bustin', them ain't real tickets. Niggas front they move on, just stop with who you kill, nigga. Face shot his ass on that one, smoke with a Leo wheel spinning. Hustle don't clock it up, SD say Demi still blinking. Hey, fuck to hoe and 4-5 months, these niggas still bitching. Hey, wait, hold on. Hey, wait, yo, chill, nigga. Leave all that rah-rah to the house, don't get your wig splitting. Got in that jam and told straight hoe, you niggas still snitching. Hey, go to trial for them pipes, we know you squill, nigga. It's dead out, they spark all on woods, we smoking real Jimmy. Stood at his grave since 8 or 12, goddamn, I'm still pissing. My house so broken, them niggas dead, how the fuck they still dissing? What's up, 10K, ain't show for shit, you ain't got no crib, nigga. I stay on guard, up, that's go get fucked, his kids missed him. Last time y'all slid down, folks, no block, we left it still empty. Mismatch them hollows with them jocks, I call that kill switching. Hey, wait, hold on. Matter of fact, I feel like bugging what you say you is, nigga. Don't get no fuck if this your block on baddies pills, nigga. Hey, you rap his bowl, I can't get in with you. Key rap fist bowl, I just out here folks with twin nipples. We made them crash his car at 3, say damn, they still spinning. I smoke straight iPad to the face, I think I'm feeling dizzy. Huncho pop out the cut with Blinky, get you real cincy. We might just run train on your bitch, watch how these pills kill her. Hey. Just watch how I feel, nigga. No, them herbs be killing me, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's Stano right there. Stano make you fall. Y'all gotta go check that shit out for real. Y'all gotta go check that shit out for real. Play it twice. No, I can't. Y'all gotta go check that out yourself. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Once again, anybody that is late, this is your grace period. Cause I'm going to get to be rolling, you know what I'm saying? Regardless. So let me make sure I'm on the screen. I'm not on the screen. I'm on the screen now though. Okay. So like I said, last week's workshop, I plan on doing a workshop every week, which I certainly will be doing. If not once a week, it may be twice or more, but it probably be max twice for right now. As I said before, I'm expecting this to become much more grander. If it doesn't, it's fine. But I know it is going to become, because the value is there and it's only going up. You know what I'm saying? So, it's going to get to the point where it's a lot more people in here, which is perfect. Because it's almost like I get to practice in front of myself, because I'm all over hit this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So check me out though. I got another song, and we're gonna jump right into it and get to work. You know what I'm saying? I got this right here, you know what I'm saying? It's that smooth saxophone. You know, you don't know this about me, but I like saxophone. I do. I really do. I like saxophone. I sure do. I like saxophone. It's right here for you.
Hey, fool, you gotta pull up tonight. We throwing a block party. It's at the crib. It's gonna be bitch. You gotta slide. Yep. It's good.
Niggas is bitches and niggas is snitches, that's why I don't fuck with them. Niggas is harder than that, but a person that's soft don't got time to act tough with them. I ain't even gotta say shit, I'll send a few shots, let them know that it's up with them. Yeah, I'll post on this block and that's niggas around like who know bro what's up with them. G21 loaded, it's a Glock party. No safety, no jam, nigga, it's a Glock party. I ain't scared to shoot shit, nigga, with this Glock 40. Seeing niggas I don't like, I in the block party. G21 loaded, it's a Glock party. No safety, no jam, nigga, it's a Glock party. I ain't scared to shoot shit, nigga, with this Glock 40. Seeing niggas I don't like, I in the block party. I in the block party, I get you black hot G like sick, hold about 30-some shots. Got 20 blicks, me and bro got the same Glock. Who you with? Make sure you get the same shots. Bitch on my dick, I'm a fucker. A nigga don't like me, I'll quarter saying fuck. Green beam on the Glock, had to make a whole punch. Nigga thought he had thoughts, so I make the whole touch him. The niggas ain't no shit, they just like drum. Fuck the woods, but the sun, I'll slide on your mom. Like he live on the farm, we'll air out the llama. Them niggas ain't on that, backseats comes. Peace to the pop, baby, welcome to the party. Everybody in your family, everybody got 40. Got a couple of my niggas and a whole lot of shorties. They tried to suck me, I fucked on the toilet. Niggas is bitches and niggas is snitches, that's why I don't fuck with them. Niggas is harder than that, but a person that's soft don't got time to act tough with them. I ain't even gotta say shit, I'll send a few shots, let them know that it's up with them. Yeah, I'll post on this block and that's niggas around like who know what what's up with them. G21 loaded, it's a Glock party. No safety, no jam, nigga, it's a Glock party. I ain't scared to shoot shit, nigga, with this Glock 40. Seeing niggas I don't like, I in the block party. G21 loaded, it's a Glock party. No safety, no jam, nigga, it's a Glock party. I ain't scared to shoot shit, nigga, with this Glock 40. Seeing niggas I don't like, I in the block party. When they daytime started to get bitch meat like the whole eat Arby's.
Bitch, eat Arby's.
Put a ticket for these Jews and they're real, so they gon' shine regardless. Don't got time for the fake shit. 4-5 holes ain't nothing to play with. Game time still running with the same clip. How you empty the stick and he ain't hit. If it's smoke, let me know some. Niggas better blow some. I ain't gon' hesitate to smoke some. With this pole, I'ma throw some. Baby tryna throw some. I ain't gon' stop, but she got your son. Rest in peace, pop, baby, welcome to the party. Sippin' straight out the don't make a nigga feel retarded. There's gas in the air, it's like somebody farted. Shoot on go, he just looking for a target. Niggas is bitches and niggas is snitches, that's why I don't fuck with them. Niggas is harder than that, but a person that's soft don't got time to act tough with them. I ain't even gotta say shit, I'll send a few shots, let them know that it's up with them. Yeah, I'll post on this block and that's niggas around like who know what what's up with them. G21 loaded, it's a Glock party. No safety, no jam, nigga, it's a Glock party. I ain't scared to shoot shit, nigga, with this Glock 40. Seeing niggas I don't like, I in the block party. G21 loaded, it's a Glock party. No safety, no jam, nigga, it's a Glock party. I ain't scared to shoot shit, nigga, with this Glock 40. Seeing niggas I don't like, I in the block party.
I've been on mute the whole time. Damn, that's why I need people in the comment section to tell me this type of shit. It's like, nah, though. I was saying that's Boo Boo the Fool. Y'all gotta go check this shit out. Glock Party, that shit was hard. But basically we jumping right into it now. This is once again a workshop on how to study a poet. I'm gonna lay the foundation. I put music on. You know, I love to do that to get the vibes right. But now it's all business. It ain't business. It's all poetry now. You know what I'm saying? It's still business, but it ain't even gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna keep my motherfucking cool in nature. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. How to study a poet. First, we gotta lay the foundations and say some key things to mention. So this is not about the wrong or right ways to study poets. That's not what this is at all. This is just showing a method. Now, the second one is there's many ways and styles to study a poet. So don't think this is me saying this is the only way or me saying this is the only way you can do it. This is how I'm doing it sometimes here and there. So I'm gonna present it on my channel. Thirdly, learning from a poet is one thing, but the application of what is learned determines whether you feel like you're copying someone or if it's more of influence. And we're gonna delve into that later. But when you learn from a poet, sometimes because it's the poet themselves. It's not like music where you got a whole bunch of stuff. You got producer music, all that. No, it's the poet themselves. So if you imitate a poet, you gonna feel that. So it's like balancing imitation and influence is a tricky thing to do. But if once you got it, you got it. You're gonna hit the beam like you're an Olympian. You know what I'm saying? Fourth, growth in an echo chamber can be a negative or positive effect. Sometimes we be like, nah, I don't want to hear what nobody got to think or what they doing over there because I'm doing my thing. It don't matter. But sometimes that could be negative because you won't be able to see the direction or the growth of the actual craft. But also, if you're too infused or too not even within yourself, you'll find that maybe you don't know what direction you're going, or you won't know where your uniqueness lies. So that's also a balance. Now, the fifth one, studying a poet will be an aid when preparing for a slam or a competition. Knowing how to study a poet, how to break down a poet, not just from a regular perspective of the viewer, but actually knowing how to break them down will allow you to prepare for a slam, especially if you know who's in that slam. But even if you don't know who's in that slam, you can start categorizing potential competitors so you can prepare for different things. And if you got your bag deep, you got your poems, you can call your audibles ahead of time, at least prepare, because the more prepared you are, the more you're accounting for different variables, and that's the best way to succeed. What they say, poor preparation means poor performance, something like that. It ain't mine, but something like that. I heard it before. You know what I'm saying? After that, studying a poet will also be a great way for exploring new boundaries within your own poetry, as well as sharpening your skill. Like, for example, you'll go to a poetry open mic or a slam and hear some shit you ain't never thought about doing, let alone you never heard it pervade in that way or none of that. So it's like, wow, you now have expanded your horizons of what you see in poetry. So it's naturally going to give you the ability to grow. And I'm really big on the evolution of an individual, but also an artist. So by doing this, you'll actually fuel your evolution as an artist by getting exposed to more and more things, especially if you don't often leave your city or your area to go explore other poetry. You'll find out on a whole different coast that poetry is sounding different, and they coming harder, and not coming harder. They just coming different, and it's still respected and loved to the same degree. So it's like, oh, there's more types of poetry, there's more types of sounds, all that. And it's like the consistently studying a poet, even if you find a poet on the internet, do one a day if you want to, and study it using this method. You'll find that when you get to write, you have so much more to work with. You got so many more crayons in the box you can write with. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I just had Chipotle. All right, I'm good. I don't eat meat, so I did get the sofritas. You know what I'm saying? If anybody try to question me, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's get back to it though. The degree to which you study or extract information or skills from a poet is dependent upon the approach and intent. So, for example, if I just threw up a video and said, we're going to break down this poet right here, sometimes it'll be like, oh, did you notice how he played on the words? Did you notice some of his nonverbals? But then it's like, wait a minute, you can get even in more depth. Did you notice his eye contact? Because sometimes people do things unintentionally, but with the purpose of doing, like, hold on. Sometimes people do things without the intention of doing it, but the subconscious purpose for doing it is very effective. So, for example, if a person looks over the room and is looking at specific people in the room, specific characters to make the poem hit harder, that's like them fine details. So, depending how your comb looks when you combing through a poet's performance, that'll allow you to extract different levels of information. So, it depends what you're going for, what your intent is. The next one, a shallow and unabsorbed focus will more than likely yield virtually useless information. So it's like if you show your poem to somebody like, yo, listen to this poem right quick. And they be like, oh, that was cool. Be like, what? Okay, but like, well, what else though? You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts though? They be like, I just told you it was cool. And you be like, okay, but that I could have just did that in the mirror at this point. I could have what am I gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? That's all you got. So basically doing that to another poet when you're trying to extract information or learn from them is virtually useless. So when you study a poet, don't be afraid to get in depth and don't be afraid to really dig deep and look at the fine details that somebody else may be like, you're reaching, but maybe even if you are reaching, you're still stretching your mind. Next, this is just to make sure we're all on the same page. We will be doing two different poets. I've never heard their poems. So this will be the first time for both of us. This is not for the intent of downplaying or trying to hype up or gas or, anything, either or those on both spectrums, any of the single poets. Instead, it's self-constructed. So it's more about learning from each poet regardless and learning what you can apply yourself. That's what we're doing. So I don't want that to be misunderstood by anybody that views this. Is not about gassing up anybody, or dragging on anybody's talent, craft, nothing like that. That's not at all what's going on. So I wanted to seriously mention that. That's a big deal. That's why I'm still on it. It's a big deal. I'm making sure everybody knows that that's 100% serious at this particular point. It's 100% serious, which is why it's bolded on the line. Now we can get back to doing our thing. You know what I'm talking about. So there's many different methods, but I will be covering one. More than one, of course. There's so much stuff. The thing about poetry is that it's so beautiful. People got different understandings, philosophies, etc. We bring them all together. It's going to be wonderful. Now, I'm just doing my part. Let's get into it. Now, don't mind the way it looks, because when I converted the PDF or PowerPoint did me dirty. My slide looked good. My slide was looking straight. Now it's looking okay, but it was looking straight. They had no problem. So you'll see on the next one, it's actually better. But I want to say these three things right now. Beginning with this, study the craft. This is a must, whether it's self-exploration or external exploration. It ensures that you continue to grow in accordance with your natural evolution as a person. Because when you do not study the craft, or even study your own craft, get to know your own work, get to know your own self, you will cycle. You will cycle in the same rinse repeat cycle, and you'll find that you don't want to write no more. Because every time you write in the same, it's nothing new because you're not evolving. And it's like, I don't even want you at some point in time, you wouldn't even want to hear your own poems no more. And it's like, imagine the crowd members, they keep hearing, it's not about hearing the same poems, but it's about hearing your new poems that sound like old poems. And it gets to a point where like, okay, but like we're evolving audience members as well. So we're expecting our artists to evolve. It's like, okay, just like rappers, they will still talk about something 20 years later. And it's like, no, your audience that you had 20 years ago is not in that state of mind no more. You'll see Jay-Z, for example, evolved as an artist. His audience that he had at the point in time when he was probably starting his career is probably still his audience. And as his audience evolved, they were able to still stick with their artists. J. Cole evolved. Artists evolved, just like people in real life evolve. I'm not saying people are real life, but I'm just saying to use a comparison. So it's key. Study the craft, even if you're studying yourself. Almost like listen to your poetry. Listen to yourself. Get thoughts of, listen to your poetry as if you were just the first time hearing it. Hear yourself. Allow yourself to push for growth. That's key. That's why I wanted to say that. Now, point 2, study the competition. If you plan on slamming, study your competition. Because think about it. It's a psychological, emotional, visual, auditorial chess match. And you must know who you're sitting down with. Okay? It's like basketball. Okay, yeah, you could be like, I don't study. I don't do none of that. But they scouting you. They on your film. So why are you not doing your due diligence? You know what I'm saying? Because preparation is key in all aspects. And the unknown becomes the uncalculated variables. So you should try to know as much as possible with don't do extremes if that's what I'm not saying that. But try to know as much as possible in order to aid yourself, which restrict the possibility of uncalculated variables, because there's nothing like an uncalculated variable. The uncalculated variables that you would like to have are, okay, the building size, maybe the audience and stuff like that. But if you know who you're going against and how they like to do poetry, and you know how they're going to come on stage, you could then be like, all right, he going to come like this. I gotta prepare a poem in case he does do what he does on a regular, because if not, I could get washed out. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward. And the third one, balance inspiration. I'm going to spell words wrong, guys. It's been something I've done since I got on social media. Don't think I can't spell. Don't think I ain't literate, though. And Siri don't be helping me either, though. So, at Grammarly, I don't know where Grammarly been. I downloaded it. It ain't been nowhere to be found. I can spell. It just ain't spelled right today, okay? So, balance, what it was supposed to be spelled, inspiration. It's a must. And you need to know the difference between fondness and what you yourself particularly do. Like, I like singing. I like songs that sing. You know what I'm saying? I like singers. I like Daniel Caesars. But am I doing that? Am I singing that? Like, no. I'm just, it's maybe one day, but I know at this particular time, I'm not doing that. I'm not him. So I have to be able to distinguish what I like, what I'm fond of, what my taste is leaning towards, and then what I do. For example, if my voice, I got you like this. I'm more of an energetic. I want you to see me while I'm saying this. I'm more of an energetic kind of person in terms of my delivery. When I'm talking to you, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you some, you know what I'm talking about? So it's like for me to sit here and try to be like a really patient. Okay, I'm not saying I can't do it and I won't do it. But for me to try to be like, scratch who I am, scratch my style, everything, scratch my natural nature as a person and try to come to you and talk about flowers grow 24/7 around me. It keeps me upset and happy at the same time. It wouldn't hit the same way. I wouldn't even feel that the same way. So how would I expect you as an audience member to feel that the same way? I'm not saying don't have a spectrum. Of course, develop a spectrum of who you can be, your different characters on stage, and characters as in what vessel you put on stage to deliver that poem. That's a whole other talk. That's a whole other topic. But I'm saying though, I could love Rudy Francisco. I love his poetry. I got all his books and facts. Let's talk. Let's be real. I got every book he ever put out that I know about. I think it's like 3 of them. If not 3, it might be 4. Just know I got them, all right? Just know I got them. They over there, all right? They over there. But I'm saying, at one point in time, I really was so fond of Rudy Francisco's poem, and I was like, and I tried to write poetry like him. It was a really big challenge because I've never particularly expressed myself in general like that, to that degree, like that type of style, the cadence and stuff. So as time went on, I began to find my own sound, how I want to talk to you while I'm on stage. And I'm saying that because it's a balance of knowing what you like, what you're inspired by, but also knowing what you do. When you're able to balance that, it's a beautiful thing. And then when you don't balance it, either you'll experience imposter syndrome, which is like, for example, if I do a poem and I feel like I don't know, that's a dope poem, but I just feel like I'm stealing somebody else's flow. It don't have to be a particular person either. It could just be like, I don't know, imposter syndrome right there. Or you'll feather your development of your uniqueness and or you'll slow your development of getting your natural unique sound or personalized sound. For example, if everybody's trying to rap the same because they all like this particular rapper that's running the game right now, before you know it, each of these people may or may not have their own sound. It could be even our own sound could be similar, but it's going to have some variations because we're different people. We talk differently, experience different things in our lives, whether that's even to the minute detail. So you copying somebody else will turn into you feeling like, wow, why does it feel like whenever I put a song out, it's his song, but I wrote it and sung it? You know what I'm saying? Continue. I love being on the camera, but let's do it. Let's continue. So the method of today, I hope y'all know. Anybody watching this that knows me, you know I'm not acting right now. I really like this. I really like this in real life. You know what I'm saying? I really like this in real life. I really you know what I'm saying? I really like this in real life. But method of today's choice, I called it. Now listen to this. This kind of fire. The FLH and me. Yeah, that's tough. The FLH and me. What does it mean? You're going to have to wait and see. Oh, shit, he nasty. Okay, the F means first time listening. This is simply the first time you listen to the poem. By the way, Let me go back one. You know what I'm saying? Hit that right quick. FLH, first 3 steps. The me is the 4th step. The colors, except for the gray, show steps. So there's 4 steps involved. F being the first time listening. That's what that abbreviation was spelled out. This is simply the first time you listen to the poem. If it's not the first time that you heard the poem, you got to act or place it in your mind state like, okay, when I did hear it for the first time, if you can't go that far back, you know what I'm saying, it's been 15 years, then make it to where like, okay, let me try to ignore the fact that I've heard it before and let's listen to it. And if you can't do that, just listen to it as an audience member, okay? Sometimes we forget to do that. Sometimes I'll be at a poetry slam volunteer and I'll be like, you know what? I'm listening like I'm trying to write as I'm listening. Why don't I just listen at the moment? Just listen. As an audience member, just to hear the words. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just I never wrote a poem in my life, and I just trying to listen. And sometimes that'll allow me to enjoy the poetry to a different level. It's like listening to battle rap, knowing you can rap, battle rap, versus listening to it as just a regular person. It's different because you just thinking differently. It's if you can battle rap, you listen to battle rap, you listen to the small shit. And because you know the degree of what it should be at, because you do it, this and that, you may not enjoy the simple shit. You know what I'm saying? And you may come to the point where like, I don't, it's cool for real. But when you just listen to it as a regular person that don't understand half the shit, okay, but act like you do, you like, oh shit, that was hard, that was dope, that was fire. So basically I'm saying though, place it in your mind like it's the first time you're listening to it. And this is where you objectively experience the poem as you naturally would. This step is important because you familiarize yourself with the poem. Also because you're getting straight. Because if you get straight to the constructive and positive part of the poem, you can sometimes shade the poem or give impartial perspectives. For example, if you come to me trying to tell me something about your life, and I'm not even hearing you out, I'm already talking about why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even hearing the whole story. You'll be like, bro, give me a chance. So that's basically what I'm saying. With the poem, it's just like food. You see the people on the screen, they taste the food and at least chew it. You know what I'm saying? Then tell you how it tasted, may try it again. So I'm basically saying actually eat the dish first. Okay? Take your first bite. Take your actual first bite. In other words, listen to the poem for the first time before you do anything else. Actually eat the food. You know what I'm saying? Eat with intent of tasting, not intent of initially judging. That's not even written down. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I can do this. I can do this. I could do the live stream. Oh, I could do this. Okay, for sure. Put a camera in front of your boy. He don't know how to act. Oh, why? Okay. Next is L. Means love, what you love, unique. My fault. What you love, what was unique, what you liked, what worked with the poem. So this is when you start putting your different hat on. So this is when you start putting I'm competing against this nigga. Okay, anybody don't know, I'm going to say nigga. It's going to happen. Don't take offense. Okay? Don't take offense. I'm going to say nigga. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The last one I was holding back, but I'm going to have to be me. It's my channel. I'm going to have to be me. I told YouTube this I ain't saying it wasn't for children, but I said it was a little explicit. Okay? I'm going to say nigga. So I was saying, did the nigga poem work? Basically, did it work for you? Did it work for the crowd? Don't just worry about yourself only. When you get to the constructive side, think about the crowd. Because I'll be watching a virtual one with y'all in a minute, it's more like, did it work for was they oohs and ahs? Was it hitting right? Did it look like he felt like the crowd was feeling him? Or did it look like he was like, they're not feeling me. Maybe they hit this part. What did it feel like? If it's in person, look around, see how everybody's feeling. That's gonna help you gauge for real. Now, I tried this. I was in the front row. It worked, but it was hard because I couldn't gauge. To do that. I would have had to pull this off right here. And no, I ain't got the time. I'm not doing that. I'll distract the poet, and that's not what I'm trying to do. So the explanation of this particular part, though. This is the point in which you find, depending on the depth you would like to go, the positives and anything that would help them score or their effectiveness. I said them score, their score or effectiveness. In other words, what if you were judging this poem and there was no such thing as a neutral component of the poem? What is adding to the positive. If everything is either negative or positive, and if it's neutral, there's no neutral. Matter of fact, scratch your neutral. Everything from appearance from walking up to the stage, from walking off to the stage, from eye contact to non-verbals. How did this nigga move his right arm? How did he move his left arm? His eyebrows. What I'm saying, did he move his hair while he was performing? Like all that. When he was talking, did he sound clear? Was it not clear? Was it visual? Was it not visual? What was working for his specific performance? I'm talking every single detail, and you get down to the minute. For example, what was his facial expressions like? Some people can talk without moving their mouth as much, like this a little bit, but say the same thing while moving their lips a lot. So it's like small shit. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find them small, unique things that make poets differently. Then you put it in not put it directly in your system. You put it you put it in your inspiration box, and you motherfucking click the button like you on the motherfucking bubblegum machine, and you come up with your own unique sound. I'm getting good with these analogies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Anyways, though. So this could be, as I said, as simple as tone changing. Did he smile while he was at the mic? Did he smile when he got up there? Yelling, singing, etc. Literally anything that would help them. So later on, you'll diffuse everything and find what you can apply yourself. But as for them, as a poet, even if you don't like some shit, if the crowd like it, write it down. If that's what you're going for right now. If you're trying to, you tell me what you're looking for. But if you're talking about objectively everything as a whole, because sometimes I know what kind of poetry I don't like when I hear it. Okay, for poetry is just don't play that around me. You're not gonna get the response you want. It ain't gonna be no disrespectful shit. It just won't be no nods. It's gonna be a lot of straight faces. Okay, but when I hear the shit I like, I'll be like, yeah, that's hard. So I'm basically saying, if I heard that poem that I'm not really into, then it'll be like, I'll start thinking about shit that's negative, that's really positive. It's just not for me. So in those particular situations, I really got to lean on the crowd, because in order for me to take or be positive, or take is a bad word. In order for me to learn from this poet, I may have to translate into my form of expressing poetry. In order to get to that point, I may have to use somebody else's reaction, almost like a translator, or is that what they call? I believe they're called a translator, guys. I believe they are called a translator. I believe they are. But I would like to remind you, since it just popped up in my head, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing much more of these, and they're going to be getting real deep, I promise you. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, this one is clearly better in terms of the lag. It's a lot better. And I'm really working on that quality. Also, follow me. There's no excuse. Don't spell it wrong either, because I got it on the screen. It's right there. Don't spell it wrong either. It ain't S-U-N. It ain't S-I-N. It's SANOVA Speaks on Instagram. You feel me? You can go ahead, if you don't got the YouTube Plus, I understand, but you can still, head over to Instagram. It'll pause the video for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get the YouTube Plus. I got the YouTube Plus. That shit be fire. That shit's fire. I'm telling you, that shit's fire. Back on topic though. Next slide. The H. Anything you hated, anything you was like, what the fuck was that? Why did he add that to the poem? Anything that didn't work, anything you didn't like, anything you felt like went against his points, everything. The L. Oh, I was like the L. No, the H is basically the opposite of the L. So do everything in the opposite way. You discuss anything that didn't work or simply add value. And remember the scale. It's like there's no neutrals, negative or positive. And because there's no neutrals, it's going to make you be real critical. Being real critical will allow you to get even the smallest grain of salt that you can add to your game. Sometimes it take a little grain of salt, like maybe 30 grains of salt over a month of time will change the taste of the flavor, and your flavor will be hotter than the next nigga when you compete. And if you compete, and if you're not competing at an open mic, it'll be hot enough to make a nigga nod his head, make you feel good. You know what I'm about? So that's that. That is the first one. First, listen to the poem. Then you talk about the positives. Then talk about the hate. Now, I want to specify. You're literally listening to the poem up to this point 3 different times. 3 different times. When you talk about the negatives, you're going to dig in their motherfucking chest. You hear me? We talk about positives. I ain't saying gas a nigga up either, because if you get the gassing up niggas too much, then ain't going to be enough substance. You know what I'm saying? It's just gas. Next, though. The last one is simply applied to me. So you have a whole bunch of shit in the positive, whole bunch of shit in the negative. So now this is the point where you have to apply it to yourself. You have to literally convert or translate all the positives. All right, this is key. This is right here is the one of the most important parts right here, because this determines whether you're going to be copy and pasting or using them as inspiration. This is the key. This is one of the most important points, because, for example, Rudy Francisco, in my opinion, Hall of Fame. But the thing is, if I went if I went back to watch his videos now, if I tried to write all the positives he's doing and apply them directly to my craft, it could come off as like sloppy, because it's like we don't have the exact same styles. So when I'm performing, it's possible that because I'm trying to add his positives to become my positives directly while basically imitating, it's like, why does it feel like he's not being genuine on stage? Or why does it feel like he's trying to fit into a frame that he's not fitting quite into? Come off ingenuine. Make the poem hard to listen to, because it's like, I hear you talking about people dying, but why do I feel like you not really giving a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just saying the poem. Or I hear you talking about some sad shit, but why do I feel like you really happy the whole time? You know what I'm saying? So this is the most important part. This is the most important part. So you identify all the positive negatives, and you literally have to convert it. Give you an example. He does a great job when he first approaches the mic. The way he took a deep breath, it wasn't too long, but it was short enough, and he abruptly stopped it, almost like he basically allowed the audience to get settled in for a second and like caught him off guard, which made it to where like, oh, I'm abruptly startled. So you're kind of garnering my focus. You almost have a good 5 seconds of my attention, and you can keep the attention depending on what you're doing. But the reason I like it, and I'm just giving an example. So I'm like, okay, his deep breath when he gets up to the stage and like abruptly goes, it actually catches you off guard, but makes you want to listen. But at the same time, it can make you not be able to and understand and comprehend the first couple words, because you weren't listening. You weren't listening at the time that it first came out, so you're trying to catch up. So I'm like, okay, I know that sometimes I can really project well. So it's like, if that works for him, perhaps when I get up to the mic, I take a false deep breath. I was called a false deep breath. I take a false deep breath and project something and echo. Now, because I just accounted for the fact that when he takes a deep breath, it gives about 5 seconds worth of attention, but the first second or two, or the audience trying to catch up. So maybe it's like I use that. I say like a line, or say 2-3 words, let my voice reverb and echo through the room. And it's like at the 5 second mark, that's when me and the audience are in theory looking kind of eye to eye, like, should I stop paying attention to you, or should I keep going to pay attention to you? And it's like, at least in that moment, I know I got your attention, so I can take you anywhere. But you don't feel like you're getting dragged. You know what I'm saying? If you jump straight in, sometimes with a poem, it can feel like the audience is trying to catch it to you, and you motherfucking making all these motherfucking turns like a skateboarder on the back of a car. You're like, okay, nigga, damn, chill the fuck out. Can I get a red light? Fuck. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's like an example of saying how you could apply something to yourself. So when you are watching this, you can pause it for real, because no one is in here. I don't have to give nobody no motherfucking time, okay? But if you're watching this right now, you get your pen out, If you ready to apply this shit ourselves, you ready to do this shit live time, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that should be enough time. You know what I'm saying? That should have been enough time. So the exercise, I will. Don't worry about rewinding and seeing the process. The process may seem really basic to you, or it may seem really interesting to you. I think the most interesting part is going to see how I like look at some things. That's going to be the most dopest part for real, in my opinion. Just to see how everybody looks at the fine details. Boy, if y'all need a motherfucking hairstylist, I got y'all. Yes, sir. Don't them look good? I know. You ever think like if you have like somebody just came and clipped them off? I don't know, bro. I might go to jail that day. It's like the poets. So I'm doing 2 poets. We'll do a poem apiece. Like I said earlier in the stream, I have not heard these poems. I haven't. If I have, I'll act like I haven't, but I haven't heard these poems. I haven't. So I want to give you guys. I want to listen to it like it's my first time too. So I ain't never heard these poems, and I've up until the day, I haven't heard the first poet, and still to this day, I haven't heard the second poet. So we gonna see what they doing. What they bringing to the table. So we doing Ed Mabry. Ed Mabry. Ed Mabry. I spelled it right. I copy and paste off Google. So you can joke about my motherfucking spelling, but this one is on Google and spelled wrong. It's like, nah. Ed Mabry. I got the video pulled up on the second slide. So remember, the first time we're watching it just for the intent of being there, just listening to the poem. So actually, just scratch all the critiquing, positives, negatives, all that, applying to it, scratch all that. Just listen to the poem with intent of experiencing the poem. That's it. So now, this is the poem. When fuckboys become fathers. I don't know. It just looked interesting. Why wouldn't I pick it? Come on, look at the title. Like, come on. I don't fucking know what it's gonna sound like, but it just sound good, right? Come on. So yeah, let's get into it. First time listening, I'm ready to pull it up right now. Pull it up right now. Let me go get it. Be patient. Damn, nigga, chill. Hold on, bro. Goddamn. It's like, nah. Let me go get it right. In the meantime, I'll tell you about my day. My day has been amazing, guys. I woke up early in the morning. I wake up early every morning, guys. Like, no bullshit. Some niggas be like, I wake up every morning, like, at this time. Okay. But I do that for real. Like, no alarm clock. I wake up at, hold on. Because it's sharing the wrong screen. I wake up literally every morning in between 6:30 and 7 o'clock. It just happens with the sun. When the sun come up, I'm up. Don't get it wrong. Me and my bird friends, they be up too. So we be kicking it for real. All right. But here we go. There we go. Now I'm gonna move my face out the screen right quick so you guys can just watch. So you can look at the entirety of the screen. Don't mind what's on the right side because that's my business. I'm trusting y'all. Matter of fact, y'all can't be trusted. Y'all can't be trusted. Y'all just can't. It's like, nah. But I want y'all to see, though, just so everyone can get their credit. This is an all-deaf poetry video. The video posted on December 17, 2020. And that's who's doing it. Ed Mayberry, his information actually seems to be right here. So y'all can go check him out. This is his name. I told you I ain't spell it wrong. Anybody that was hating and laughing, whatever, like that's your ass. If you ever come up here live stream, we'll have a spelling bee and I'm on your ass. But yeah, I just wanted to get the credit. As you can see, I've never seen it. It would have popped up red at the mark or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay on the screen, though. So get comfortable with me on the screen. All right, there we go. And go.
When fuckboys become fathers. Since we got a name from a woman and I gave for a woman, I wonder why we hate our women, why we rape our women. Also, quote, if I just met you, you just met me, you won't let me. If I couldn't have a silly rabbit, why you sweat me? There's a lot of what G's do in time because the groupie bit the truth and told the lie. Also, Tupac Shakur. Dear fuckboys, when you get older and become fathers, it's not that you quit the game, you just simply refine it. Kiss your daughter with the same mouth you kiss your side chick with. Toss a football to your son with the same hand that puts the cell phone down every time your girlfriend comes in. I bet you got Killmonger tattooed on your dick because you thought it was me. Euphemisms fuckboys use to excuse a fuckboyism. Charge it to the game. Only God knows my heart. I wasn't raised with a father. I wasn't breastfed. I listened to soul wings. I was raised in the hood. Don't worry about this. I'm polyamorous, but that bitch better know her place. She gotta stay in the cage of my own configuration. I'm trying to build myself while simultaneously destroying others. Homie, it's not that your wife and or girlfriend don't know they do. They also just know that you lazy and ain't going nowhere. You're not a pimp anymore. You're a used couch whose breath smells like Febreze.
Oh, damn.
Things fuckboys say to represent making love to a woman. Tear the pussy up. Hit the bottom. Break her back. Bust her guts. Bend her over backwards. Make her scream. Wait till she chokes, then you know she wants it. Slap her leaf prints on the next day. Question. I'm discussing two people in a loving relationship, or am I giving you the memo to a conviction of a rape trial? Instead, what sons and daughters that their bodies were temples. That do not allow anyone to enter your temple that's not willing to get on their knees and pray before you like the gods you are. To understand that your fingers are Bibles. Don't let anyone touch you that doesn't feel like home, whose kisses don't feel like a scripture. Don't lay down with anything you ain't willing to wake up with for the rest of your life. Instead of telling women to dress better, you knew you had it coming. Why were you drinking so much? Why did you go out knowing that shit would happen? Instead, tell boys, look at them the same way you look at your fucking mother. Correction, look at them the way that you should look at your mother. One day, your daughter will come home screaming about failing every test in school, getting positives on all the ones in the clinic. You will wrap your arm around her and tell her you understand she talks about the boy who shut her down, who did her wrong and dirty. You will say you understand. She will think you're a genius for saying that, never actually knowing which side of the story you were speaking from.
All right. So that was the first time I listened to it. It was pretty dope poem. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty dope poem. I don't really be having a lot to say after a poem. It usually just be like, oh, that shit was tough. That was hard. That nigga went off. Like, it just, you know what I'm saying? I don't really be having much to say after niggas go. It really just be, oh, that shit was tough. But it really was tough. If you know I was playing, I would be dead ass. Like, but now that we listen to it on the back side, we will be taking notes. Now I will be talking throughout the taking notes and maybe pausing it. But this is it's the purpose. We doing a workshop. You had the chance to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And you got the you know where to find it too. Like, come on, Dad. Don't get mad. I'm gonna be talking. I'm gonna try to write notes down. I'm gonna type notes down. Mr. Chipotle, I hate doing that. You know what I'm saying? I hate to do that on camera, but it must be done. All right, for sure. So, go ahead and type these notes out. As a reminder, I'm gonna show the slide again. We just did the first time listening. Now we're doing the what did you love? What was unique? Anything that you liked? What you worked? Now, I mentioned this earlier, like what if you want to make it about you or the audience? It just depends. One, it depends on a lot of things, but I'll just give like a brief. If you are focused on what you want your sound to sound like, or inspiring yourself, then it's more like what you like. Depending what kind of artist you are. Do you focus more on what you like or what people like, or both? What do you balance? If you focus on what people like and do what they like, then you should probably focus on their responses, right? And if you focus more on what you like and believe that when you do what you like right, they'll like it, then you maybe focus on yourself more. But if you feel like it's a balance, or if you're slamming or something like that, then you do both. So it's up to you. In this particular situation, I will be doing both. Right. These are my glasses, but let me see how they look. This might give me an extra subscriber. Maybe like this nigga know what you're talking about. One second. Hold on. All right, guys. Welcome back. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video next. And we are going to dive right back into it. Right after it takes me back. See, YouTube try to get carried away sometimes. And they started doing way too much. They just have you everywhere. But we good now. Remember, take notes during the video. This is not as much about listening as it is about, and if you have to listen to the poem again to experience it, then do that. Don't overplay it though, because you will start critiquing it as you start overplaying it. Subconsciously, you'll start critiquing that shit for sure. So, not critiquing, but giving positive. And you want to do that shit on the paper live time, so you can catch your first thoughts. I'm gonna play it again. I will be talking during the video, expressing my notes, and yes, so we can hear each other. You can hear me, but if you happen to be here with me, you'll be able to hear how we both think and what we think, and this is gonna apply it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to switch the screen. All right. Hey, and guess what? I just gave this nigga 5 views for free. It's like, nah. He probably my motherfucking views.
When fuckboys.
1 second, actually. I actually have to adjust the volume. So you may hear a little bit of a back lag, but that's only because I have to hear it too. So it will be coming out my speakers. So I'm gonna try to turn it as low as possible. But if you hear a back lag, then I don't know. We'll have to find a solution. I don't know. See how this sounds.
Become fathers.
All right, so already off the bat, I like how he came out with a line, a standalone line. We may do only one poet for real. I'll be getting in depth, you know what I'm saying? He came up with a standalone line that generated a moment of a reaction that was not a bar, giving the audience a direct and easy interpretation, but chance to join in on the understanding. Like sometimes they'll do a bar and you'll feel like you're late, and then you feel like you can't get in with the crowd as much because you are late and you don't know if they're gonna stop cheering. You know what I'm saying? But chance to do it. So I like that. I like that for sure. Okay, for sure. Now I gotta remind myself also that we're doing positives.
Since we got a name from a woman and I gave for a woman, I wonder why we hate our women, why we rape our women.
Something that I also noticed that may have helped him is the fact that his hands are in his hoodie. And this may be like, okay, what the fuck is he talking about? But if you think about it, he's talking about a pretty touchy topic. Now, I'm assuming the audience is not all women. Let me see if I'm on the screen. Yeah, I'm assuming the audience is not all women. So it's like, okay, because his hands are in his pocket, perhaps it's giving more of a, I'm not here with hostile intention. I'm not here with hostile intentions. Almost like he's keeping his male audience engaged. Engaged and less offended. Because he has hands in the hoodie pocket. It looks like, okay, I'm just talking. Don't worry about me. I'm not bothering nobody. It's like when somebody cussing you the fuck out and talking all this big ass shit, but they talking about, I'm just saying. Nigga, no, you not just saying. You really try to be on my ass. Why you doing that? So I feel like he's giving them kind of vibes. And then, because honestly, at this degree, you got to follow all the small details.
Since we got a name from a woman and I gave for a woman, I wonder why we hate our women, why we rape our women.
And it's almost like he balanced it because he took his hand out of his pocket to deliver one of the part of the poem, almost and say, I ain't scared. Like aside from him trying to add elements to the poem that he's performing, it's like, hold on, let me type it down. He's like, he's not scared, he's not afraid, he's not nervous. He's cool in his frame. And it's like at the same time he put his hand out like, oh, I could get on your ass like this. I could do a whole bunch of this shit. But I ain't gonna do you like that. Put his hand back in his pocket.
Also, quote, if I just met you just met me, you won't let me. If I couldn't have a silly rabbit, why you sweat me? There's a lot of what Jesus do in time because of who you bit the truth and told the lie. Also, Tupac Shakur. They're fuckboys.
Something I feel like really helped this poem when he did it was the fact that when he changed subjects, he used another standalone line. I guess if you wanted to call it, if he changed it from the intro, when he went from the intro to the next part, he used a standalone line. And I feel like what this did for him is that it allowed people to digest what they've just heard because he was going pretty fast, but I feel like that allowed them to be like, okay, I want to hear some more because I really that line is really what could he talk about? And yet he had his hands in his hoodie, so it's like I'm still not trying to offend you. So it's like he's tiptoeing the line and doing it in a certain way, so where he keeps his male audience engaged while also pleasing I say female guys. That could get me canceled. I say female, and that's a whole other topic. So I'm gonna say female. I'm letting you know now. If that bothers you, you might have to cut out the video. But I say female. Would not, and I'll let you know it's not with the intentions of what people be saying like. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting you know it's not. I'm not trying to degrade anyone. I'm letting you know I'm referencing the other gender inside the building. So when he says female, not what I'm saying. So to keep his male audience engaged, but also the female audience engaged, he's like, okay, because he's talking about basically treating women better. I say woman now. See, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna have to do this these days. I'm saying woman because I'm specifically talking about grown adults. I'm assuming he's talking about grown women. So I'm like grown female, so a woman. But as a whole, I don't know what age range he's talking about, so I'm saying female. That's how I would approach it. So I forgot what I was talking about. I had to do that. So now we're just gonna have to keep going.
When you get older and become fathers, it's not that you quit the game, you just simply refine it. Kiss your daughter with the same mouth you kiss your side chick. Toss a football to your son with the same hand and put your cell phone down every time your girlfriend comes in.
I feel like he prepared for audience. He prepared for the audience reaction, but he didn't make it obvious. So like I feel like he could have he had like a sweet spot of space. And I feel like even if the audience didn't respond, I feel like he maybe have kept the same response and it would have sounded normal. It's almost like if you look, he's like playing the sweet spot of like, should I say the next line or should I hold it for them to catch it if they have to still catch it, or I mean just for them to react in general. That's why I was saying, man, only do one port. We ain't even got to the negative side, so this is just the positive. So maybe you want a minute and a half. Matter of fact, I don't know. It depends how much energy I got. If y'all, we gonna.
I bet you got Killmonger tattooed on your dick because you thought it was me.
Oh, another thing. I told you I really get in depth. He has a really still. He's standing still. Standing still. So it's like he's not moving a lot. It makes it to where he's standing still. He's like he's always trying to basically negate his physical frame. In essence, just becoming an isolated voice. And it's like harder to be mad at a voice as it is a nigga in your face with it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess like I kind of type it down so I can come back to it later when we do the how do I apply to myself.
Euphemisms fuckboys use to excuse a fuckboyism. Charge him to the game. Only God knows my heart. I wasn't raised in a fatherly household. I wasn't breastfed. I listened to soul wings. I was raised in the don't worry about this. I'm polyamorous, but that bitch better know her place. She gotta stay in the cage of my own configuration. I'm trying to build myself up.
I'm not reading you.
Simultaneously destroying others. Homie, it's not that your wife and or girlfriend don't know they do. They also just know that you lazy and ain't going nowhere. You're not a pimp anymore. You're a used couch whose breath smells like Febreze.
Oh, damn.
Things fuckboys say to represent making love to a woman. Tear the pussy up. Hit the bottom. Break her back. Bust her guts. Bend her over backwards. Make her scream. Wait till she chokes, then you know she wants it. Slap her leave prints on the next day. Question. I'm discussing two people in a loving relationship, or am I giving you a memo to a conviction of a rape trial? Instead, what do we taught our sons and daughters? That their bodies were temples. That do not allow anyone to enter your temple that's not willing to get on their knees.
Now, I know you're right. I know you know I'm ready to talk about these hands. Now we see all. I wonder if it's really intentional for real. I wonder. Because he took it, at this point in time, he took his hands out of his pocket. So when he was settling, it's almost like when he was done with the touchy part, I guess, or risky part of the poem, he reestablished his frame with hands outside the pocket. almost like yo, now I'm here. Now I'm getting it. Like, well, what he was talking about was different. So he was feeling it, but he was feeling differently because he was not talking about fuck boys. He was talking about how you can improve. You know what I'm saying?
And pray before you like the God's and understand that your feelings are vitals. Don't let anyone touch you that doesn't feel like home, whose kisses don't feel like a scripture. Don't lay down with anything you ain't willing to wake up with for the rest of your life. Instead of telling women to.
All right, this is really minute, but perhaps this is something I'm gonna type down. When he was pointing, he pointed with two fingers. I told you sometimes depending how much detail you want to get, the application part will be interesting. He pointed with two fingers, which kind of like makes it less direct and like abrupt. I'm saying, like, if I point at you like this, no, if I pointed around at the crowd like this, or it's like this, I probably point like this. Point like that, or it's like that. I don't know.
To dress better, you knew you had it coming. Why were you drinking so much? Why did you go out knowing that shit would happen? Instead, tell boys, look at them the same way you look at your fucking mother. Correction, look at them the way that you should look at your mother. One day, your daughter will come home screaming about failing every test in school, being positive or all along the clinic. You will wrap your arm around her and tell her you understand she talks about the boy who shut her down, who did her wrong and dirty. You will say you understand. She will think you're a genius for saying that, never actually knowing which side of the story you will speak from.
I was gonna
break her back.
Just hold that there so it doesn't go anywhere else. So just to recourse my notes, I told you I was gonna pause it throughout. So if you have to go watch it, you can either go check out the link or you can just backtrack. For convenience, I would just backtrack. You know what I'm saying? But also go check out Def Damn Poetry. Hopefully they don't copyright my video, but if they do, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because you should have been here to watch it anyway. It's like that. But really, hopefully they don't copyright my video. I'm using it for educational purposes. But going back to this, so we just have completed the love portion, which is basically everything that made it unique, anything that liked, anything that worked. I did forget the part that worked, and I actually forgot the part. I almost forgot to basically account for crowd reactions and what they really liked. But moving forward, so I'm gonna read what the things I got. So, a standalone line at the beginning generating a moment of reaction that was not a bar, which gave the audience a direct and easy interpretation, but a chance to get involved right off the bat. Sometimes you have to wait for like 15 seconds to say, "Oh," but he came in right away, and it gave everybody a chance because he didn't have a bar. Because not everybody can interpret the bars at that speed. So that either puts them at behind or it puts them in the space where like I don't really know if I understand this poem or if I'm going to understand this poem. Like, oh, they just kind of forfeit. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of start surface listening and just watching it all happen like this instead of going like this. You know what I'm saying? Moving ahead with it. If that makes sense. So also the hand in the hoodie. So sometimes I say shit. You know, I'm gonna talk my shit, but sometimes it can be offensive to some people. So like that is actually something that I ain't mean to go how I can apply it, but I'm thinking that's really something that I thought was really positive because I was like, how there's men probably in the room and you're talking about fuckboys, and it's like how you're not discharging the men from the poem because you're almost doing it in like a way that's like saying, I'm just saying, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just saying my observation type shit without saying that exactly. While still maintaining the like, yo, y'all niggas is tripping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like almost like the stillness in his body allowed them the stillness yet looseness. Stillness can be stiff and like, you know what I'm saying? But stillness like this is like you're not trying to bother nobody. You're not trying to be a threat. Your frame is not displaying that you're a potential threat. So it's like when it's almost like interesting. It kind of keeps it like a neutral because it's like when you're saying some raw shit to somebody, but your body language is saying that you're not going to do anything to them. It's almost like if I cussed you out in the sweetest tone possible, you would at first be confused, like maybe this nigga playing, but the whole time I could be dead ass serious. The next one, He balanced his image. Oh, so although he still established to the audience like I can get rowdy with you, but for right now I just want to talk to you, which is pretty dope. So when he finished his introduction, like I guess the hook, whatever you want to call it, if you want to talk about it in terms of English language, English writing, he then used a change of subjects. He used a standalone line to be like a change of subjects, which did the same thing it did at the beginning. It gave the moment for the reaction of the audience, but also allowed them to immediately catch up and be like, "Oh, I got that one, I got that. Okay, for sure, I'm with you, I'm understanding." And then he also prepared for audience reaction throughout the poem, but it wasn't obvious. It's almost like he had a sweet spot. It's like he knew where and how long to stop. So it's like if I was talking and I was like, and I just had a feeling you was gonna start cheering. I planned, like I prepared, not planned. You maybe not planned, but you prepared. And it was like as he was talking, he wanted the crowd reaction. Some people try to run through the crowd reaction and they don't really want it like that. So like the fact that he got crowd reaction, it's like he wants that. He used it. And it's like because he knew he wanted the crowd reaction, he was almost having a sweet spot within the poetry. Like okay, between lines or even between these two lines, this is my cadence. I need to be able to tell where I actually go. It's like a sweet spot. And then also, he prepared. Let's see. He was standing still. In combination with the hands in the hoodie, I then later noticed he was not moving much. When he was moving, maybe here and there, but for the most part, up until the end, he was standing still, and it actually allowed it kind of like diffused the tension from his poem. And then when he was done with the touching more risky part, he then reestablished his frame. He took both hands out of his pocket and then was talking. But by the time he was talking about that, he was talking about the how men could do better. So it was like, okay, interesting. And then also something that's unrelated to that specifically, but he pointed two fingers. And that's like two fingers versus one finger can almost feel more different. Like almost if I do 5 fingers, if I do one finger, one's more like hostile. Oops. Act like you didn't see that. Act like you didn't see that. One more time. Let's do negatives. Oh, side note. After this particular time, we will be taking a break. Okay, I've been eating motherfucking 5 minutes. So I'm gonna have to just, I'm gonna take my motherfucking 5 minutes because I ain't gonna bullshit y'all. I ain't gonna bullshit y'all through the next part. Okay, I ain't gonna bullshit y'all through the next poem, and I also gotta pay respect to a poet that's allowing me to use his video if he knows about it. So I'm definitely gonna take a little 5-minute break, play a song, and come right back to you harder because my motherfucking throat is getting dry and I still don't have no fucking water. Continuing though. The negative part, anything that we don't like, anything we hated, anything that did not work, all that. We're including all that. All right. Let's go back.
When fuck boys become boss. Since we got a name from a woman and I gave for a woman, I wonder why we hate our women, why we rate our women. Also, quote,
I forgot I could talk. Yeah, okay, I forgot I could talk. My fault.
When fuck boys become boss.
All right, so right here, he didn't have crowd control in regards to the reaction. In regards to the reaction, it's like he needs to gauge. He like almost like the moment did too much. The moment did too much. Right here, watch your see. And it's like it's almost he didn't expect it for them to continue going. He was like, all right. This part right here, it was real. I mean, it's intentional. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it was rushed to the point where even though I knew what he was talking about, if I'm talking about what worked for, it's like I had to catch up to what he was saying. Now, perhaps that was intentional, but I'm not gonna write that as a negative. But I'll just say something I noticed.
Also, quote,
Rushed. Yeah, that shit felt rushed to me. I'm not gonna say it's a negative. It was rushed to the. When I say rushed, I mean the content was so much as a first time listener that I couldn't digest it before my next meal. I got you. Before my next unrelated meal. In other words, one right here, so I'll rewind it a little more. You know what I'm saying? Right here. Uh-huh. Right. Okay, like right here, I'm still like digesting, like, okay, for sure. But then if say you don't say you're not really familiar with Tupac Shakur. So it's like right here, it's like, okay, my nigga, hold on. And it's like, I hope the whole poem, subconscious maybe it could be like, I hope the whole poem's not going like this. I feel like the energy was not there. I feel like it was catered to the audience, to the performance, for the performance. It wasn't performed for the audience. I feel like he wasn't talking to them or reciting with them in room. Now we talked about it earlier in the positive side where he was trying to. It seemed like he could have been negating the potential hostility, but I feel like he could have built it up some at least. So hostile part of the poem was negated, and in essence, almost lost. Like in essence, it's kind of dimmed. In essence, dimmed the power of it, like compression in the music, like because he tried to. I don't know if he tried, but this is just from a perspective, an analytical perspective. But it seems like he tried to really dim the aggression or the hostility of it. But in doing so, that's the power of this particular part. So it's like the balance of that was not there. As a man, maybe make me a little, hold on, I'm saying. So then when it gets to the other part, it's like, okay, but for the woman, maybe like make them, if they really feel really passionate about what you're saying in regards to that, make them feel that more, you know what I'm saying? It's like, almost like the middle line was played so smooth that it kind of negated the power of that particular part of the poem. And also, now that I look at the clock, I was thinking about this earlier, but I wasn't sure because I don't know if they're even slamming. But if in case they are slamming in this particular venue space, notice how the clock actually ends at 3:07. So it's maybe like in the beginning when the crowd did their when they reacted to the opening line, which could potentially be a risky thing to do. Now, this put it like this: when you have a standalone line in a slam poem, it's like, okay, you don't know the exact audience reaction, especially because they don't know how you're going to deliver your poem. So you can get a whole bunch of reactions. But I feel like as you go through your poem, they start gauging like, okay, what is acceptable? Because what is your cadence calling for? Like, how much time do I have to react? They didn't know that. So it's like perhaps they affected his time and actually caused him to speed up throughout the poem. In essence, he didn't have the ability to express the same energy because he wanted to get to the next part of the poem. And maybe the next part of the poem was when he took his hand out of his hoodie. You know what I'm saying? And as now I'm looking at it, it seemed like he didn't commit. He didn't commit to his punchlines. And so I'm not saying every punchline you got to commit to. Like, so I say some hard shit like what I wrote the other day. I don't like a line like this. I think it was like, I know we not to speak on death, but how bad could it be? We all bag ladies. We just lost our receipts. Like that to me is a bar. I like that line. Not a bar, but it's something cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially just to start with. So it was like that particular line. I wouldn't sit on that line. I wouldn't. I would just continue pushing. You know what I'm saying? You could build that up, especially if somebody's really following your interpretation, or if they're not following interpretation, and then you finally slam them with a bar. But I feel like his punchlines are written in a way where you're trying to get a reaction, or they're garnered for a reaction, and they're not being given the time. So it's like if you have a punchline, punch that shit. If they don't fuck with it, that's fine. I guess that means that you have to find a way to adjust it. Like in terms of adjust it, like say that line I just said was punched. It was like, I know we're not to speak on death, but how bad could it be? We all bad, ladies. We just lost our receipts. You know what I'm saying? I punched it. And if I know you're not, if I don't get a reaction, maybe prepare for a non-reaction to play it off. You know what I'm saying? But and if you do get reaction, perfect. But know how much time you got within the reaction. That's something that's really interesting. I'm gonna try to apply that myself. Oh, also, when the first time I listened to it, I was having a hard time understanding what he was saying when he first started talking. So maybe the negative is like you opened up with poor dictation. I won't say poor dictation because I didn't understand it. It gives me the audio, but opening back dictation. And I guess when somebody first hears you speak and you have an accent, they have to catch up. They have to, you know what I'm saying? They got to calibrate their listening. Write that down. That's something I think I have. I think I personally have an accent. So like I know when I start a poem, I probably gotta give time for the audience or say something really dictated, really clear, and then gradually get into my accent or something. Because I don't have to do like that, but generally speaking, because I feel like my accent can sometimes come out strong and be hard to understand. This gonna be a little minute.
Don't worry about this. I'm polyamorous, but that bitch better know her place. She gotta stay in the case of my own configuration. I'm trying to build myself while simultaneously destroying others. Homie is not that your wife and or girlfriend don't know they do. They also just know that she's lazy and going away. Not a thinking for it. You stop the rest of the
Oh, damn.
These fuckboys say to represent making love to women. Tear the pussy up. Get the body. Break her back. Bust her guts. Bend her over backwards. Make her scream. Make her she choke and you know she wants it. Slap her reprint on the next day. Question. I'm discussing two people in a loving relationship or I'm making a memo to the conviction of a rape trial. It said, what if we taught our sons and daughters that their bodies are to that do not allow anyone to enter your system to only people you break the code like the God of the Bible. When anyone touches it, doesn't feel like oh, it doesn't feel like a switch. Don't hang out with anything you learn to wake up for the rest of your life. Instead of telling women to dress better, you had it coming, why you treat so much, why did you go out knowing that shouldn't happen? Instead tell boys, look at them the same way you look at your fucking mother, correction, look at them the way that you should look at your mother. One day, the God will come home screaming about killing every test in the street and these others and all those things. So wrap your arms around her and let her understand you talk about the world, shut it down, and get it wrong and dirty. You will say you understand, see what you are saying. Never actually going inside of the story.
Tough poem. All right. So now let's go to the last part. Actually, let me tell you what the negatives. Summarize my negatives. Pause that. Once again, we will be taking a 5 to 8 minute break now. Now it's 5 to 8 minutes. Because this is a lot. Don't get me wrong, this is a lot. We just watched the 3-minute poem 3 times. With me pausing it made it longer too. We're at an hour and 20 minutes. I love the sound of outside. I do. Sure I do. So for my negatives right here, I felt like he didn't have crowd control in regards to the reaction, and he engaged the moment, and the moment did too much, and he was unprepared for that moment to do as much as it did. Now, the rush content was so fire, but the first time I was listening to it, I couldn't digest it before my next meal, which was fuck boys and so on. So that was hard to digest. And the energy just wasn't there. No, I know it could have catered. I feel like he could have catered to the audience for more performance. For the performance, I mean. But it not basically I'm saying I feel like the energy wasn't there. I feel like he recited the poem in front of the audience, but he didn't perform it for and to the audience. You know what I'm saying? That's what I really felt. In terms of the next one, I felt like he wasn't talking to them, but was actually just saying the poem in the room while looking at them. it's different. If I'm talking to you, I gotta look at the camera. I'd be like, da 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 da. It's like, nah. But if I'm talking to you, it's different than me just talking out loud and you're just in the room, because now you feel like, am I in the place to listen to what he's saying? Do I have the right? And it's like, it puts I was thinking about this the other day too. I'm gonna do something on this too. But if you don't establish or make it clear or some type of way the position that the audience sits within the space, like, are they a fly on the wall? Are you talking to them, or are they just over listening? Like, it makes it hard for the audience because they're gauging, like, okay, what is my perspective as the listener? What's going on? And I feel like he didn't give that to them. Although clearly he was, I still wouldn't be able to tell. Is he a fly? Are they on fly on the wall, or is he talking to them directly, or is it in between? But that makes it that could be used to benefit or negative, because it makes it to where you have to consider as an audience member, what am I learning? How am I listening to this? Like I'm saying, it's like somebody talking, somebody come over to your table, start talking, and you don't know who they're talking to. Are they talking to all y'all? Are they talking to you specifically? You know what I'm saying? Be like, nigga, who you talking to? But continuing, and the hostile part was kind of negated by the dimming, and it kind of dimmed its power. So that's a balance. That's like a power. That's like a balance of power. And I feel like he didn't commit to his punchlines, whether they would hit or miss. And I feel like that's something he could have done. And I feel like the opening perhaps lacked dictation. Now that could have been the audio, especially because it was doing a video. Because it seemed like everybody else there understood it. Understood his words. So I feel like, especially for me, like, I have an accent. No, this is of course going to come next in the platform, but I have an accent. Let's be real, and depending who you ask, some people be like it's hard, some people it's not. So, but I know I may have to start opening up with extra dictation and gradually leading to my regular voice, because it's like, yo, what the fuck did you just say? So try to balance that out. And then his tonation, he didn't really change his tonation much. Okay. You don't have to go from oh my god to oh my god. You don't do all that. The range don't have to be like this. I was just thinking, even if the range is really compact, at least move within this particular range. If the range is this much, if the range goes from here to here, to range to here, then at least use that. Or if it goes from up here, like, yo, why you do that? Like, use that range at least. So, you know what I'm saying? So you don't get tuned out. So next is apply to. So this part is interesting, but I'm not going to do all of it. Maybe I will, depending on the time frame. I want to at least be at the next at our break at 1:30, the latest. So let's see. Let's take 3 positives and 3 negatives and see how they go with that. Find my positives. Yeah, this right here. So something that I would like to apply to me is the fact that he put his hand in his hoodie and he kind of removed the hostility of that part of the poem. So it's like me it's like my application to myself is find my non-verbals that diffuse hostility and give neutrality. That would be my thing. Be like, okay, find that. That's something I'm out of my repertoire. Okay. Next, sometimes I change subjects because that's the way I write. Sometimes I write poems like that. I write poems from a different place. So sometimes I change subjects pretty fast. So maybe it make it easier, almost like standing marks, like checkpoints, if I distinguish and move along my poem using standalone lines. All right, and then this part right here. So when he was done with the touchy or risky part of the poem, he reestablished his frame. So that coupled with the one I was talking about before, where I could possibly negate my hostility, it's almost like manage my nonverbals with the level of hostility in the poem to kind of offset and not turn crowd members off. So as you can see, for the positives, you go through all the positives possible from everything, and literally read through them and be like, okay, this is something I can apply. Now, notice how I didn't direct for example, the hand hoodie part. I didn't exactly apply the hand hoodie part. I literally applied the idea of occupying your hands or presenting your nonverbals in a certain way that omits what you're doing. Now, that was not something I don't even know if I've ever thought of doing that, like really doing it like that. So this is something, for example, where you could learn from another poet. I just learned something from this man, who seems to be an amazing poet. I just learned something. Well, I appreciate that from him. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go into the negatives. So he didn't have much crowd reaction. Not that. I mean, that was cool for real. I'm trying to find a bit through. Right here. Rush content was so much that the first time listener couldn't digest it before the next unrelated part came. This is something that I definitely would like to learn from. How can I apply it to myself in a constructive manner? Because I feel like sometimes I can go through poems and they be like, wait, hold on, bro. But as you listen to my poem maybe 3 times, you're like, I'm fucking with it more and more as I listen to it. But how do I get my poem to hit hard the first time? I don't want every poem to hit hard the first time, though. But if I'm in a slam competition, it needs to hit hard the first time because there ain't no motherfucking repeats on that stage that day, on that bout. No, it's not happening. So how can I do that? So if I think back to what he did, it was kind of rush content. So how can I make rush content make more sense? Rush content I can make, for rush content, I can make a checkpoint. And this checkpoint basically summarizes it kind of summarizes the information in like a line or two. Kind of like he did. He said something about, he kind of like took all of Tupac's lyrics, and in like a line or two after he was done with it, he then like was like, okay. He basically presented it in this way and then summarized it in 2 lines, kind of to say like, this is basically what I'm saying here. So maybe when I go through lines faster or through faster parts of my poem, it's like I can wrap it up with like a line or two that basically says this is where we are now. So if you weren't catching all that, this is where we are now. So it gives you the chance to be like, all right, I can just listen to that again another time, but I'm here with you still. In terms of another opportunity. Let's see, West content was so much that I listening to that. I'm thinking cadence. Cadence could help with this. By dragging words. By dragging predictable words. Now, what I say predictable words is like if you know what I'm gonna say and I drag it, you might get to that conclusion of that word or that thought faster than me, right? In terms of the poem. So you may feel like, okay, I got some time. And while you think about you got the time to go back and think about that poem. And now you thought about the part of that poem that you didn't get all the way. It's like, okay, this was kind of hard. But now that I'm wrapping it up, you're like, all right, I do gotta get back to the current part of this poem because he's gonna continue type shit. You know what I'm saying? So almost like I'm indirectly making them go back and listen to the poem while giving them time. So I think that's a really good idea. What else? The energy wasn't there and it wasn't catered to the audience. The question is, how do you do it though? So the negatives, sometimes it's as simple as doing the opposite, but sometimes you have to literally ask yourself, how would I solve this particular problem? Because if you do this shit on stage, you're going to be asking yourself after you fucking perform, how can I not do that again? So why not ask yourself based on somebody's performance? When you get up there, you can ask yourself different questions if necessary, but they're at least advanced past this particular issue. You know what I'm saying? Issue being like the lessons you would have learned somewhere else. So the energy wasn't there and it wasn't catered to the audience, but it wasn't performed for the audience. Hey, I just thought of something. Maybe it's the head. Maybe it's the angle of your head. For example, if I tell you a poem like this. I'm 20 years old. Well, and realistically speaking, okay, the camera's right here, so eye to eye level. I'm gonna have to make it a little bigger so I can see this. Let's see. Or like this. So realistically speaking, I seem like I'm like off center. But realistically speaking, like I guess clearly you didn't have my glasses. but I'm rocking the fuck out of these bitches. You heard me. Anyways, so realistically speaking, though, I'm trying to center my face, but if I could, this would be eye level, I guess. You see me like this. I'm probably on stage a little bit, so I'm a little high. So I guess in theory, most poets, they perform like this. And it felt like, nigga, who you talking to? Because it's like you're looking down upon me or you're just not talking directly to me. So perhaps instead of going like this, like, I'm 20 years old and that's my advantage. Like, let me see if I can remember something somebody's poem. I'm 20 years old, that's my advantage. I got it. I don't really got it all the way, but I kind of got a little bit. So I got you. I'm 20 years old and that's my advantage. My development be screenshots of a young man seeing the world more gray and gray. Yet some shit like that. I don't know. That's not it exactly. You know what I'm saying? But if I perform like this instead, like say you're the crowd, instead of looking up past instead of pointing my chin at your head top, perhaps I point my chin at your nose. So my chin at your nose. So it's like I'm getting more direct with you. And even if I'm not looking at you, it feels like I'm looking more at the crowd. I'm really talking to y'all instead of looking like this, where I'm really looking. If I'm looking at somebody in the front row, my eyes are going down instead of me looking straight. You know what I'm saying? Instead, I would rather, it may be better to actually look at the people in the back with your eyes going up like this, instead of looking at the people in front, having your eyes go like this. So let's try it. I'm 20 years old. That's my advantage. My development be the screenshots of a young man seeing the world more and more gray, yet they don't love me. Some shit like that. So hopefully that maybe work, and I really think that could really help. So I'm gonna type that down. The angle of the head in accordance with the crowd, and less chin pointing at head top and more pointing at noses. So then it's like, if my chin, not literally like that, not that, but literally more like, so if the camera's here, you can follow the camera is right above where this is at, okay? So if my chin is pointing at the camera, it's like this, right? But if my chin is pointing at, hypothetically speaking, if the camera be your head top, and we're like distance away, so it's less detail, and I bring it down right here, even down here, right here, reasonable. So it goes from here to here. You know what I'm saying? Some slight differences. But these slight differences, I didn't read that part, are like pixels. And these pixels of differences and improvements actually add up to create a whole picture. And you're like, wow, he's really doing something when he's on stage. Small differences. Let's see what else I can. So it felt like he was reciting the poem when I'm talking to him. Because a lot of people, when they go on stage, they just they stare somebody in the eye. They look, I'm talking to you. Sometimes they feel like, nigga, you're just showing me a little attention, but you're not really here for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, perhaps, like, what is the solution to that? And it may be just like, it may be committing to a nonverbal with a individual. So like, you type it down. I wanted to remind you guys, like, basically what I'm doing is I'm studying a poet. So I've studied Ed Marberg, and I believe that's how you say his name. And I apologize for getting your name wrong if you happen to see this, or anybody that happens to see this, because it's like, I respect people, especially their pronunciation of the name. I just really don't know how to name. I should have studied, and I need to get that shit on lock for real. So that's my bad. I'll be for real, my bad. But I'm saying that I'm studying a poet. You know his name. I'm just saying the title of the thing. I'm studying a poet, and this basically I'm extracting the information and applying it to myself. But see how it's not imitation, and see how it's just not me copying, and see how I'm really applying it to my craft and saying, "Oh, am I lacking in that area? Oh, am I doing that? How can I do it better?" You know what I'm saying? The small details matter. So that's basically what I'm doing, how I'm applying it. So right now, we're literally talking about how sometimes I feel like, oh, he wasn't talking to me. Now I know you're talking to me because you're performing because I'm here. Not because of me, but because the crowd is here. Otherwise, we probably would be performing. But it's like, why does it feel like you're just reciting? Like you wrote the poem for a different venue, or wrote the poem for a different crowd, or wrote the poem for a different intent, and then you just have to be showing me. Because honestly, the crowd, we want attention too. Fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? The crowd want attention too. And the attention could just be like, I just want to feel like you're talking to me. Simple as that. Like a professor, like you want to feel like that professor is at least there to teach you and not just talking out loud. Then it's like, nigga, why the fuck would I listen? Now, of course, you're trying to get the information, but in theory, in general, I'm just expressing a general thought that could be expressed in the populace. I'm not talking about just my thoughts. Nobody asked for that. You ask for my thoughts, I'll give you my thoughts. But that's not what we're talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? Here and there, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like committing a non-verbal with an individual could be interesting because like sometimes even like because I feel like as a crowd member, if you see the professor exchange non-verbals with an individual, it's like they didn't exchange a non-verbal with me to say you're communicating with me. But it's like non-verbals are not really often faked, right? On a level. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on a mass level, somebody could fake like, oh, they crying and shit, but you don't really exchange that with somebody for real, one-on-one or 1-on-5 or a group of people in a corner or something. That doesn't really happen that often. So maybe it's not like, oh, he's talking to me. No, my fault. Maybe it's not like you're not talking to me, so maybe that was a fake exchange. But no, or maybe I think it's more like, although you weren't exchanging with me, it's almost like you're showing me that you're actually engaged in the crowd. So when you do look at me, I need to be paying attention. Like if a teacher calls a student out the back of the classroom, he's like, yo, what's the answer to this question? And they be like, I don't know. You be like, I know you don't know because you were asleep. And it's like, oh, maybe the teacher's paying attention. Maybe if I do go on my phone, they're gonna peep it because this nigga was in the corner sleeping and she called this nigga out. So maybe my phone, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they're gonna spot me if I'm doing this because maybe they are paying attention. They're just not all showing it all the way. So maybe exchanging, and sometimes that could be maybe say like maybe yours like camera is that, and okay, I'm gonna also include the other part about the chin. I'm really gonna apply that because I feel like that really help for the chin part, pointing more down, almost like I'm looking eye to eye with you. Because oftentimes I feel like when we perform, we do this proud shit. Like I'm proud, like we try to show like yo, I'm really on the stage doing this. I'm not scared at all. I'm really about to give my poem. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, let's talk. So, in combination with the nonverbal, so say you were just a member of the crowd, I'm just trying to add it, but I don't know what kind of nonverbals. That's something I have to get into when I'm researching more and more in depth in terms of my solutions. Be like, I'm 20 years old, something like that. I didn't do it with the camera, but I'm trying to get. I'm 20 years old. Let me do it better than that. I'm 20 years old. Fuck. I do not remember this part of the poem. It's okay. Cause I'm gonna post. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna get one done. I'm gonna do one. I know I got one in here. I know I have one. I know I have one. And this is honestly how I like to do workshops. Not how I like to, but this is how I like to. It's more. This one's more slow paced, but it's like I'm a demonstration of workshop. It's how you can really study somebody. My iPad's dead. It's okay. I can just pull one right off here. On this notepad. I have to come into the notepad, yo. But I'm gonna get a poem. I'm gonna get a poem. Just give me 30 seconds. Now it may not be the best poem, but it's gonna be one nonetheless. Because I wasn't prepared for this. Not to show no poem. Oh, this is an old one I wrote. Really old, like last year. I'm coming a long way. Obsessions with a fate I think I'm destined for. When it rains, I run inside and pull some more open into beginnings. But if I see the ending, I'd be like, slow down. Baby boy, you might just be winning. Listen to your soul and how you feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I did it, but I was trying to show like perhaps that could be one, like how I look at the camera and like almost like, oh, I'm really engaging with the crowd. Like I'm really here for the crowd. Don't get it twisted. Like I'm really in this shit for the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back on another note though. Can't wait to watch it back. I'm gonna learn a lot watching it back. I watch it back because I really learn from myself. But I'll also listen for the information because sometimes you can talk all day about something, and it's like when you listen to it again, you go, oh shit, I said that, or you be like, oh shit, now that I said that, that got me thinking about this and shit. So that's the most beautiful part about it. Beautiful part about it. Like the other one, I listened to that, and that shit taught me some things myself. Yeah. But yeah, let's continue though, because we're on the last part of it right now. I'm on the wrong note. Here's a note. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Let's see where we at. I'm getting there. Okay. The hostile part of the poem was negated in essence within the power. I feel like that's simply a balance of negation. I feel like that's something that I know. But now that I've seen it happen, I know that I need to be aware of it and careful. Committing to my punchline. So what do I mean by committing to my punchline? I'm really asking myself, what do you mean by that? You wrote it, I mean you meant it, but what do you mean so I can apply it? What do I mean by committing to punchlines? I feel like maybe I'm saying like he said I felt like he said it, but he didn't want to sit there and say I said what I said. And I fuck with what I said because I said it was hard. Not like that, but basically that's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like sometimes like a nigga will give you a flower because you're not giving yourself flowers. Just like, wait a minute, should I even give him his flowers? And sometimes the nigga don't give you flowers, but when they see you fucking deserve some motherfucking flowers on the line, they be like, yeah, okay, I'll give you your flowers. That shit was hard. So maybe I guess if the application tool is like maybe after I write my poem, practice my poem, right? Practice. I highlight hotspots and prepare and like use crowd control to garner and earn roses, or simply get the ones I'm deserving. In other words, if I'm writing a poem, I practice. I know what my hard parts are, right? And it's like when I perform it, instead of going over the hard parts, like, oh, hope you caught that shit while I was going. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can also be like, da 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 da. But not in a way that's like da 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 da. Da 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 da. Like that, like I'm saying, like this shit is hard. I hope you caught that shit. I'll give you some time to catch it for real. Like da 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 da. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? If that made any sense. I hope that shit makes sense. It's gonna make sense when I watch it because I said it, but I hope it makes sense to you right now. So yeah, that would be committing to the punchlines, and it lacked open dictation. So I guess the solution here would be that my opening line needs to be written for my dictation. I guess to be more like clear when you're talking, maybe it's a focus on your vowels and your constants. So, or maybe one of the other, like, I'm 20, and that's my advantage. Yeah, maybe. What happens if I focus on more on constants? Find out. That's really how you got to do this shit. You really sing, you're asking yourself questions, and you'll find that, oh shit, and then start coming together. Like really ask yourself questions. That's why I'm doing it a lot of times, so you can see. Because I could have packaged, I could have prepared all, I could have had this all pre-done. Don't get it twisted. I could have all this pre-done, but it's not the same. It's not the same because you get to see what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking. Because that sometimes you don't also get that. Sometimes you don't get to see somebody come to their conclusions, or you'll be like a master teacher, teach you some dope shit about electromagnetic spectrum, and you be like, "That's fire," but how did you learn that? Like, what? Come on, like, how did you get there? And they be like, "I just study. I study." But they be like, "Nigga, I do study, and I'm not where you are right now." But anyways, it'd be like, focus more on constants. Like, I'm not 20. Wait, I'm 20. I'm 20. That's my advantage. Versus the vowels would be like, I'm 20. That's my advantage. That's my advantage. Ooh, maybe that works. That's my although it's Y, but it's the A-E-I-O-U. I said you. You. Funny still. I'm 20. That's my advantage. Ooh, you can actually play off. That's a different way to approach cadences. Emphasizing, see, you find shit like that. You can emphasize your constants and leave your vowels alone, or vice versa, and they can give a different feel. Like, I'm 20. That's my advantage. Versus, I'm 20. That's my advantage. Let me try the same pace though. I'm 20. That's my advantage. I'm 20. That's my advantage. Oh, that's fire. Now, you might like the line. Okay, the line cool. But I'm talking about the potential. When you apply it, imagine what kind of line you could apply that to. What kind of line could you apply that to? You make my forehead look bigger. Shit, it is what it is, yo. That's how you know I'm really getting it in, boy. Get it in, boy. But then the last one is the tonation range, the range of tonation. Well, I really don't have 2 hours. That's how you know I really fuck with this shit in real life. This ain't no motherfucking act. This ain't no motherfucking act. I really do this. I really fuck with this shit. I'm getting better and better, but you know what I'm saying? I really fuck with this shit. I fuck with the craft itself. You know what I'm saying? It just comes out. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't fuck with the craft. So, poetry, that is. Because there's a whole bunch of crafts in the world. I'm letting you know, I'm talking about poetry. I ain't talking about nothing else right now. I'm talking strictly about poetry. And I know free, no, makes me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about I'm talking about none of that. Poetry. So, to the tonation range. So I feel like maybe I may need to. Okay, so I have music equipment like this. I got the other shit. So perhaps it's a matter of literally recording myself and doing like 3 different takes in 3 different tones. A tone being the highest I want to go with this particular part, the medium, and the lowest tone I want to go with this particular. Lowest tone could be energy, however, and then I can cut in and out on Logic Pro to see like what does it sound like if I go high, go low, and it may be extreme, but it'd be like, okay, now when I listen to it, it'd be like, oh, for sure, oh, I like how that goes, and I can start listening to the tone I want to deliver. So that's a good idea. I like that idea. So I feel like that would allow you to express to use your tonation range. Also, doing like vocal preparations. And you know what? Vocal training. I feel like that's something I need to do. Even simple as doing like, like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like, like shit like that. Can I sing? Want to try it? Oh, that was fast as fuck. Try it again. Oh, I'll go again. Hold on. That's some proof now. I wish I had a note to go off of, but I don't. That's how you know I ain't know. I ain't do it like that. So I always gonna go. Something like that. I feel like I got potential. But maybe if I do that before I go to the event, so it's like my voice is ready to do what I needed to do. But also if I practice it, just practicing going, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be more prepared, like, okay, my voice, I'm comfortable using my voice. I know my ranges. So when I'm exchanging ranges, like I'm going from like da, 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 I wish a nigga would. Da, 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 da. I got this, and this, da, 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 but don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. Type of shit. If that makes sense. If you're a poet, you probably understand what I'm doing. I'm just imagining the cadence, da, 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 da. But I'm saying the comfortability to do it will give me the confidence on the stage to do it well in each different tonal ranges or even energy. If I do poems like this, and this. And that's actually perfect if you record it different ways. You can hear how it sounds literally if you compare the audio. If you do like, I'm 20 years old. That's my advantage. I'm 20 years old, but that's my advantage. I'm 20 years old, but that's my advantage. And I get to see, like, and then you can get to see, get to play with the tonation. And then, like, if you have Pro Tools or anything like that, or Fruity Loops, if you don't have Fruity Loops, you can get for free. Get Fruity Loops if you're a poet. Now you're like, I don't make music. You don't have to make music. Get Fruity Loops and literally record yourself, and you have to dub the track. Dub means basically record over it. So record over it, giving different energies, and literally cut. So like mute the first part of the bottom two tracks, and then alternate. Do that all throughout the track and see how that sounds, and see how the tone sounds, and see what you like. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're trying to find a word, maybe you start doing tracks and seeing which word flows the best and makes you feel it the most. This is great. I love that. I didn't even think of that before. That was amazing. But to give an overview of the things that I'm going to be doing in terms of applying to myself. Let's see. Starting here. So when I get to my faster content, so I'll be like, don't forget about me if I die soon. We don't have. I know we have to speak on that, but how bad could it be? We all back later. Wait, that's not how it goes. Don't forget about me if I die soon. I know we have to speak on that, but how bad could it be? We all back later. We just lost our receipts, like some shit like that. I will maybe give my checkpoint, which is a standalone line that is clearly what I'm talking about. In context, it clearly contextually expresses what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then in terms of the energy not being there. Oh, this is the negative part. Oh, but in terms of my head and my actual directing my energy, I need to be more concise about directing my energy not down to the crowd, but to the crowd, and not just up in the atmosphere, because niggas gotta be like, who the fuck is he talking to? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to. I'm not saying don't do these things if you're talking about these tips for yourself as well. But I'm saying be aware of what you're doing, because when you're aware, it'll allow you to choose specifically and critically what you're doing. I know what time it is. It's okay. Let's see. And then commit non-verbals to maybe an individual or two, even if that's a nod, like, yeah, I see you fucking with it type shit. Like, I am talking to y'all. My opening line needs to be more dictated. If any, more than likely, more dictated, or at least written for me to say it clearly, so I'm not sliding into my poem and slipping in through it. Because you're gonna fuck. If you motherfucking slide in your poem just cause it may seem like, oh, here we go. It's gonna be a poem I can't fucking understand, and nigga gonna talk fast. He gonna be yelling at me, or he just gonna be going mad slow. Nigga gonna be mad dreamy, but nobody understand words coming out his fucking mouth. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you're going for, though. And then practicing three tones so I can chop them up and see which one's better. So I'm not just or just not just the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna switch it up. Now the next part, which would be positive. This is the last part before we take a break, or in the stream. See how the vibes are out there. Songs play. Let's see. A standalone generation. Oh, now the standalone generated moment. That was not that. I didn't write that down. But the non-hostile part, by intentionally keeping my fault. Basically finding my non-verbals that diffuse hostility. Like if I said some shit like, wish I had more of my poems memorized. Niggas thinking ink can stop you. Policies, play and get a lineup, murder 8. I'll scope shit out HD and have one of my young bulls usher me up close and paint over like old walls, got brains, something like that. So it'll be like the way it was written is like this. Ink and thinking policies can stop the rain. Play and get them. Ink and thinking policies can stop the rain. Play and get a line of murder 8. I'll scope shit out HD and watch one of my young bulls. Play and get a line of murder 8 and watch one of my young bulls usher me up close and I paint over like old walls, got brains shaping like cloud matter. Picasso ain't got shit on my work. My work rate's forever going up. But you can get one of me for the low bargain price. Hit the cut off the ad for the lowest price, or hit my dealer off to something for the. I'm gonna get that shit down one day. But that's how it's supposed to have that type of energy. Don't mind the words, it's an energy. So maybe what was I talking about? But it's supposed to have that, You know what I'm talking about? It could be offensive. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about usher me up close. I wish I had a poem up top. I don't. But I got this one. I got this one. Now, this is actually could be offensive. I'll read the first part. Everybody knows ruckus makes noise for masters approve, and no music made. Says more codes being a slave ain't conditional. It's genetics. It's engraved. Says cracks fits right pipe dreams. Give a rose or two a chance. That's not a. I don't want to do that part though. Give me a different one. Bow, 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 bow. Right here, this is good. Fuck a crack, throw a rock, make a way, doorway, busting like roaches. No raid. I'm pissed about. You know what I'm saying? And now, if I have a more Caucasian audience, the more other parts of this content of this poem, it could be like, okay, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. So maybe if that's what I'm doing, I got to be prepared to perform it differently. So maybe I'm doing like, fuck a crack, throw a rock, make a hole, doorway, busting like roaches, no raid. Compare that I feel like already looking at myself in this live stream, that already kind of dimmed it down. You know what I'm saying? Versus fuck a crack, throw a rock, make a hole, doorway, busting like roaches. Oh shit! Oh my god, that shit hurt. Oh, I can't believe I did that shit right there. Oh my god, that shit hurt for real. Oh, that really did hurt. That shit hurt for real. Anyway, I'm gonna try one more time. That really did fucking hurt. No bullshit. No bullshit. That fucking hurt. I think you'd already be in this shit. But no. Fuck a crack, throw a rock, make a hole, doorway, busting like roaches, nah, raid. Some shit like that. And like, you know what I'm saying? But you understand what I'm saying. Some new shit I'm trying to develop and work on. I'm explore my style. I hope I did not motherfucking public vessel. That'd be fucking ridiculous. But other than that, though, guys, I feel like we have done the first one, and those are my takeaways. I wasn't just doing this for show. Like, I'm trying to get prepared for a big grand slam, and I want to go out there and do really well. Now, I am talking differently than how I talk in private in regards to how I want to do. I'm competitive, in other words. That's all you need to know. So I'm going to talk differently because this lives on forever. I'm going to say it in the nicest way possible. I want to do it as best. You know, I talk more like aggressive than that with regards to succeeding, and how I want to do in comparison to the other poets. But yeah, so we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a break. Honestly, if you watching the live stream still here, like throughout the whole thing, no breaks, congratulations. In terms of me getting a break, I may need a break because I ain't gonna bullshit y'all. But the next poem, I think, is maybe 1 minute long. Let's take a quick look. No, the next poem is 3 days long. Yeah, let's do it. We'll figure it out. We're gonna find out what we're doing after this song, though. I'm gonna put a song on. However, you know what I'm talking about. You go and pick a song out. But yeah, that's basically how you study a poet. Something different, something clear. But hopefully, even if you already knew that the main component of that is like the main thing about that is just knowing how somebody else could perceive something. And I would even advise you to go back and do that shit all over again with the same one to see how you come, see the things you like, see things you don't see that works, and come to your own conclusions, which would be also good. Let me find this right quick. Shit fucking hurt, man. Really poked the fuck on my eye. No bullshit.
Yo, let me start this shit off with a fuck you. Yeah, came in with him, then my niggas fuck you too. Yo, 30 in his Glock, I ain't tucked to get it in. If it's up, then I'm up and then I'm bringing out his twins. Yeah, closed off, it's just ganging him. Yeah, if he ain't got a body to his neck, can't hang with him. Yeah, ice around my neck, yeah, that shit cost a life. Yeah, Molly Percocet in my cup with juice and Sprite. Swatting off her neck, she couldn't get a dollar, couldn't get away, cause she don't got no mind. Forgot how to behave since I added that La Calma. Might develop a complex, I keep counting all this, smoking on this op pack, screaming. dick your dog up. My new bitch a breast dog. Love it when she dogged up. I just drop both them hoes if I get caught up. They be call me certain shit when I'm dropping money up. Yo, hard to give a fuck with 100 in the tuck. I'm not just wetting my beat. I done lined up all my ducks. I got shooters on the flow coming through in the clutch. Soon as I drop off a bag, they gon' drop they nuts. Snatching coops, calling like I hoop, Bought my hooch, yeah, $1,000 pooch, Running red lights, probably get a boost, Sipping walkie, shaw like it's juice, Running around Atlanta like I'm Usher. I might let her suck me, but I won't fuck up. I got stacks on stacks in my duffel. Since I learned how to fly, feathers ruffle. All my niggas ball, team sport. Glock 17, that's my heat source. I just put a bean on my keto. Shorty on the low, they know that I'm on something. Got 100,000 in a spare and 0 fucks in cares, but they know they suffer. Know me. Shorty choosy, touching on me. Watch for this Uzi, it's bossy. Got a toad in case they touch me. Got status, piece from status. It costs cabbage. It's dancing, dumb as dancing. Can't look right at it. Fuck it, let them have it. I was starving, they was laughing. Now I live lavish. She gon' eat me. Toss my salad, clean up palate. Cover all the bases when I shot. Louis Vinny Dior. Window softball. I'm a ball. I'm a drop a 20 ball. They think that's fraud.
All right, guys. After thinking about it and getting a brief moment, I'm gonna have to call this live stream start. Only because I don't want to lower the value, the quality, and also I'm pretty tired. I've been at this for 2 hours now. You know what I'm saying? And I know me, when I get into something, I'm gonna take it 100% serious, and I don't play around about that. Especially not about poetry. I take poetry serious. I might joke when I'm doing it, but in regards to the value and the quality, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna sacrifice that. So if I do the next poet, it would have been another 30 to 45 minutes, hands down. But and there's also another 3-minute poem. But why? Because it's on here. What I want to do though is show you who it was going to be in case you guys would like to go back and check and look for yourself. It was going to be a scribe called Quez. I have not heard of this particular poet. However, I'm sure he's an amazing poet because I did look him up. His image was on Google. Now, if your image is on Google, that means you motherfucker doing something big. So congratulations to him. And the poem we're gonna do is Regrets. You can find it on YouTube. So if you type in a poet called Quest, Regrets, it should pop up. If not, type in us. My fault, not a poet called Quest. A scribe called Quez, Regrets, it should pop up. And if not, type in a scribe called Quez, Southern Fried. And then Southern Fried, like literally Southern Fried chicken, without chicken, Southern Fried. And then it should pop up. But I appreciate everyone's time. If you have any comments, questions, please let a nigga know. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Found any value, hit that bell. Feel good to do that. You know what I'm saying? When you do that shit, you're a real YouTuber. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. You know what I'm saying? If you do that shit, you a real motherfucking YouTuber. What that make me, yo? A real motherfucking YouTuber, yo. But on a serious note, we're gonna be right back at it on Saturday. Now I do be prepared. Don't get it fucked up. I do be prepared, and I have notes. So let me go get my notes because I prepared. On Saturday, here are the notes that I left for myself. We have a vlog coming up. I'm about to go try to compete in Kentucky. Hey, yo. So basically what that means is support me, okay? Support Slamageddon. That's the Baltimore Slam team. Support Liz. And there's another poet that's coming from Baltimore. Support all the Baltimore poets that's going out there to compete for real. Also, the vlog will be happening. I'm going to vlog it so y'all get to see what it's about, what it is, what is, you know what I'm saying? So next year, if you want to go, you can go see what it's about yourself. Also, you get to see what I be doing when I'm not on camera. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, oh, is he really like this in live time? Like, is he really a good spirit, energy, all that? I really am, for real. In terms of that, also the podcast will be dropping very, 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 very soon. Also, next UT videos will be on how to improve your cadence. I got 3 tips for you. And after that, it'll be complexity versus simplicity. Should you focus more on complexity of your bars or getting to the point and being just straightforward? I got something for your ass. You heard me? I got something for your ass. Next workshop will be on writing and shapes. I got something for your ass, boy. I got something for your ass. So this, I ain't making shit up. I do this shit. I made this up. I didn't make this. The concept is not. Hold on. Y'all niggas ain't gonna look too long. I got some shit on this boy. I ain't gonna look too long. Boy. I ain't gonna look too long, boy. Well, I gotta put the. Okay, here we go. Shit like this. Literally, shit like this is backwards. But you can almost set your bars up in metaphors and such. Instead of you can change the way you write and write in shapes, especially if you do. It's other uses, but you can land your bars a certain way. You can have a setup line and almost do a 4D metaphor, landing it as such. That's making a 4D metaphor, giving it layers type shit. I got one more for you. Shit like this. Hold on. Y'all, hey, nigga. Don't look. As you can see, I do have clothes on. And I just say that because it's funny because some niggas be on live stream with no clothes. That's funny. Every time I get a chance to joke about it, I'm gonna joke about it. But look, wrong side. This is tough. As you can see, you can break things down like that. Everybody knows, got the A, B, C. Then you can find your specific moments and set your moments up, but your writing in shapes is more visually appealing. Also, you can then shape it. You don't have to make it exactly like that. You can almost still make it like straight line. Squiggly means it needs to get a little hectic at that point in time. You can write in shapes, write in lines, you know what I'm saying? Set the shit up. And then when you go on, you have something to follow, frame to follow. Let's check this other little corner right quick. So this particular one, some shit like this. You see, that's actually 9 moments. I miscut it. No, it's not. It's actually 8. One here, one here, one here, one here. No, shit like that. Shit like that. I'm saying. Shit like that. But like I said, I appreciate everyone that came through and that is coming through after. We're gonna continue to do these. They're gonna get sharper, stronger, more in depth, etc. Expect in a month for this shit to be banging like that. When I'm on the stream, expect for this shit to be banging like that. Yeah, like banging like that. Yeah, banging like that. So once again, my name is Sanova. Follow me at Sanova Speaks. Like, comment, and subscribe. I would like to get. I'll be straight with y'all. I want to get monetized. The faster I don't have to go motherfucking Instacart and shit. I fuck with y'all though. Don't fire me. Don't fuck my money yet though. The more I can get in depth with this shit. Come on, Doug. Come on, yo. The more I can really do this shit all the time. If I ain't had to work, if I don't gotta, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I would love to get monetized for real. That be straight with y'all. I would love to. And also, it also the more people in the live streams, the more dynamic conversations going on, the more better it would be actually for the viewers because it'll be more conversation based. And even if one person asked me one question today, it would have opened up another lane for conversation to take place. in essence, bringing more information, more value, more conversations, and you know what I'm saying, such and such and such. But as you know, we're gonna close out with some music, and I'm gonna go put that on now.
My hoe, my hoe. She my hoe, my hoe, my hoe. She my hoe, my hoe, my hoe. She don't cook, don't clean, oh, it's me. I listen with game. Now all these niggas pain. These hoes behave, they broke, got sprained, they mad. She up, she do not want for thing. She sweet like Twix, she always in the mix. Every other day she bringing me a bitch. Got a young nigga feel like shit. Got the young hoe on and off text. Which land? She text. She make sure she get the money correct. She gon' leave that nigga in debt. Oh yeah, that's my bitch. That's my star player. Yeah, only way is up. Yeah, we locked. Yeah, we stuck.
Success doesn't have to mean getting the corner office. It isn't always climbing the corporate ladder.
I need you right here, right now. Don't turn me down, promise that I'll send you home with a smile. I'll get you right off old time's sake. You know about it, no doubt about it, shawty. Wild and you get the pound and you're out straight. And teasing y'all, trying to beat you up. You and me up until your kitchen. Do you remember the last time that you slipped up? You was poking around to see what's up with me. Found out I'm living comfortably. It's fate would have it, we was in the same city. And you was tired of playing games with me. You had that guard up, but I had great lies. It was over once we locked eyes. I told you once before, ain't no running from me. Go be like magnets, you get close enough to come right to me. Matter of fact, I'm trying to tell you, give it to me. Quit the front, you know you love it when I'm in it. I need you right here, right now. Don't turn me down, promise that I'll send you home with a smile. I'll get you right off old time's sake. You know about it, no doubt about it, shawty. Wild and you get the pound and you're out straight. No teasing y'all, trying to beat you up. You and me up until your kitchen. I'm tired of high-siding, got my nose open and I like it. Got my full attention while you acting childish. Tell the truth, I feel a little blindsided. Cause I can usually shake this, but it's something about you. How come all our liquors turn to situations? I think something's up, we just ain't trying to say it. Gonna say it. Take the lead, I'ma play it how you play it. You can't hide when I'm inside, got that look in your eye. Know it's murder on my side every time that I slide. It's like I'm inside your mind, do it just how you like. Right when you want it, you come every time. I need you right here, right now. Don't turn me down, promise that I'll send you home with a smile. I'll get you right off old time's sake. You know about it, no doubt about it, shawty. Wild and you get the pound and you're out straight. No teasing y'all, trying to beat you up. You and me up until your kitchen.
All right, y'all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for stopping by. And I will be seeing y'all another day for another workshop. Thank you.